Left, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the Opera of Paris. Right at the very top, you can see Apollo, the god of music, holding a musical instrument called lyre. Lyre is spelled L-Y-R-E. You can see there are two gilded statues on either side representing dance and music. You can also see the letters N and E. N represents Napoleon III and E for his wife Empress Eugenie. God bless you. And you can also see the busts of important musicians of those days like Mozart, Beethoven, Spontini, Rossini. Ladies and gentlemen, have a look on the right hand side. On the right hand side you can see the buildings on either side, they are all of the same height. Here it is not the trees which form the perspective, it is the buildings which form the perspective. Just imagine if you were to be on the other side of the road, what will you see on the vanishing point? Sir, you can take your wife along in the boat because you've given two right answers and you'll also be on the boat. At the vanishing point, you have the opera. This is how a monument is being honored in Paris. So, during the transformational works of Paris, what happened was they found that area of 1 hectare of land was vacant. So this 1 hectare of land was used for the construction of this opera. It was the initiative of a French emperor who was called Napoleon III. Have you heard of Napoleon III? You all would have heard about Napoleon Bonaparte or Napoleon I. It was his brother's son, his nephew, who was called Napoleon III. And here on the left hand side you can see an entrance. This entrance was for Napoleon III and his wife Empress Eugenie. However, they never got to use this because it took 15 years for this to be complete. By that time Napoleon III had fallen off from power, so he did not see it complete. The architect was called Charles Garnier. Now on the right hand side, look at the two wonderful buildings, Galerie Lafayette. Look at the showrooms, so beautiful, especially during Christmas time. Next time you should come during Christmas to see the beauty of Paris. All these showrooms are being wonderfully decorated and there'll be like puppet shows going on. And these are not handled by people, the machineries themselves.
I
am really scared about the people behind. Anyway, good luck to you. The architect of this monument was called Charles Garnier. That is why it's also called Palace Garnier or Opera Garnier. So when he backed the project, he was in for a surprise. And what was that surprise? This area had a high water table. And how can he construct such a massive structure in an area which has high water table? Now on the left hand side you can see the bust of the architect Charles Garnier. So he found out a solution. The solution was that he built a large reservoir, and this large reservoir stayed as the foundation for this massive structure. That was the solution. So this is very beautiful from the outside. It's even more beautiful from the inside, because inside it has got 35 varieties of Italian marbles. It was built to be for dance and music, but it is now used only for dance purposes, ballet dances. On the right hand side you can see a restaurant which is called Café de la Paix. This restaurant belongs to a hotel which is called the Grand Hotel. Just if you can look up, you can see it is written Grand Hotel. So this Grand Hotel has a wonderful hall, and it was in this hall where one of the 5-day marriage ceremony of the daughter of Lakshmi Mittal took place. So, Napoleon III, I'll finish off the story of Napoleon III. So, Napoleon III lived in exile in London, and there he liked the beauty of its architecture and greenery. But Paris was like a medieval city. He wanted to transform Paris from a medieval city to a modern capital of capitals. Something like Old Delhi to become New Delhi. For this he has to come to power, and he wrote a book which was entitled How to Eradicate Poverty. Once he wrote this book, the people of France, they elected him to become the president of France, and that was for a tenure of 4 years. At the end of the 4 years, he dissolved the parliament and he became the emperor of France like his uncle, and then he started the transformational works. He appointed a mayor who was called Haussmann. Haussmann is spelled Haussmann, and Haussmann, he was the one who transformed Paris from a medieval city to a modern capital of capitals. So medieval city means there were a lot of poor people. There were many poor people in this area. Haussmann requested the poor people to sell off their houses for their transformational works, and he promised the soldiers that he promised the poor people that they can come back and live in these modern buildings with modern facilities once the transformational works were over. What happened to them? I will tell you later. I think we have to come up, speak on the mic, madam.
కలర్ లేదు సార్, వీటికి కూడా కలర్ వేస్తే ఇంకా కలర్ఫుల్ ఉంటుంది.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering one of the most beautiful squares in Paris, which is called the Vendôme Square. What is to be seen in a square? Architectural backdrop. Wake up, wake up. Look at the most beautiful. Architectural backdrop. Can you see all the buildings in this square? They have similar architecture. That is how a square is being decorated. Now look at the first floor balconies. In the first floor balconies you can see a gilded round, and in the center of the gilded round you can see a face radiating like a sun. Can you see that? That is the symbol of King Louis XIV, the greatest king of France. Which means this square belongs to King Louis XIV. And we had the equestrian statue of King Louis XIV in the center. So, when this statue of King Louis XIV was brought down by the revolutionists during the French Revolution of 1789, when Napoleon Bonaparte came to power, he erected his own statue on top of this column. So this square is known for jewelers. On the right hand side you can see all the famous jewelers. Can you see on the right hand side Chanel? What is Chanel famous for? Perfumes. How are these perfumes called? The best perfume of Chanel is called Chanel number 5. Okay. And on the left hand side, you can see the 4 white color tents. It is called the Ritz Hotel. Just have a look at that.
లోపల ఏముంటుంది ఇప్పుడు చెప్పాలి కదా నేను ముందుకు లక్ష్మీ హోటల్ కూతురు పెళ్ళింది ఇది కూడా ఇక్కడ ఏమైనా జరిగితే చెప్పాలి మాకు
Chanel, the founder of the Chanel industry was called Coco Chanel. She was an orphan. When her mother died, her father took her and her sister to an orphanage. He left them there, stating that he will be back in 2 days. He never turned back. She was brought up in this orphanage to become a tailor. Tailor does not mean cheap tailoring, high class stitching. Why? Because in the 19th century there was only 2 ways where a lady can be emancipated. One is by marrying a rich person. The other one is by becoming a rich person's mistress. So she was encouraged to tailoring so that she can come in contact with a rich person and then she can become their mistress. However, she was so good in stitching, high class stitching. The rich people started coming in search of her. There she made a lot of money. She became very rich. Then she tried her hands in perfumes. For a very long time, perfumes were extracted by chemical sources. But then, in the 19th century, it was extracted from natural sources, but in the 19th century, it was by chemical combinations. So she tried a first attempt, that was a failure. Second, third, fourth attempts in the chemical combinations were all failures. Then she tried a 5th attempt and that was a perfect combination. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, we have the very famous perfume which is called Chanel number 5. And what happened? She became even more rich. And then she tried her hands in jewelry. She made a jewel which was in the shape of a question mark. And she replaced precious stones by semi-precious stones. Thereby the cost of jewelry came down and people started buying more and more jewels in order to suit the design of her dress.